What's going on, people? How are we doing? Is everyone good? I hope so. What's going on, Kevin? Hope you're well. Did everyone have a good weekend? So, coming into this week, we're expecting a few moves that we kind of called out to you last week. So, if you were present in the streams last week, you would already know roughly what we're looking at. One of the first PSS indicators is almost ready to go. Almost ready to launch. So, what did we expect to see for Euro A, for example? Well, we expected the lows to be swept out, then pricing to aim up for these target highs. Now, if you look at the low that we had right here, and then this low, that's the move we're looking for, right? So we've already had a pretty substantial move from here to where we're at. Can we get the move all the way up to these highs? That's the question. So let's make some adjustments. Okay. So we need to catch up with some of our highs and lows that are being marked. Afternoon, Akram. How you doing, brother? Hope you're well. Oh, for everyone that follows me on TradingView, it is now Pip Surfing Society. It's not me anymore. Now, the reason I changed it was because we're going to be releasing indicators from Pip Surfing Society. They're not from me, so it makes no difference to me whether TradingView is me or not. You guys know that I am the head mentor and coach at Pip Surfing Society, so that's what it is from now on. So if you wonder where I've gone to on TradingView, I'm still there. I just have a different profile and a different name. Not a different profile, sorry. A different picture and a different name. We're still looking at these highs here. We've got a lot of highs up in here. Mooning today. Interesting start of the month. Yeah, interesting. Talking of mooning, XRP, I've been preaching this for absolutely forever. Look at this shit. Vertical. I've literally been preaching it for so long. So yeah, really good. But yeah, so we go back to here. Who was it? I think it was Martin, possibly. We were talking about that I had a bearish bias on this, on GJ. Oh, did it actually take that high? Oh, I haven't set an alert on this. And then we had an insane run from the setup that I actually gave, which was here. Insane run. said 2 there? Yeah. So this entry area is not going to be valid anymore. You can't take this as an entry area anymore because you've taken out majority of your target lows. And we had 1, 2, 3, then 4 as your final point. It's taken out 2 of those lows, so you're not going to be able to use that as an entry point here. The position would have been short from here. Again, this is purely example based. Then you'd be aiming down to the low. So we actually gave this out to the VIPs, and we shared it in the live stream here. Oh, here he is, Martin. You were here when I showed you this setup, right? Keeps making you cry. Don't worry, dude. It will go long again at some point, I'm sure. Don't worry, it will go long. So we have. Good morning, by the way. We have a bearish bias with 4-hour high that's remaining, 4-hour high, and then we just put in a new 4-hour high right here, which is the high that is situated at the point of our last area of entry given. Now, Orion is still in development. We are tweaking and working on that currently, but our first indicator may be very, very soon released, which is the money in, money out indicator. Now, we've, of course, taught you guys the concept of this, shown you on the charts. We show you in principle by showing you the points that we're looking to enter and sell and buy from. But this is going to be a completely hands-free version of that. So we're going to put an alert here. So 4-hour low is orange because it hasn't confirmed yet. We gave Euro NZD to sell down, but it hit the targets before it came back to our entry point. Might as well delete these and delete that. Go back to here. So you can see why I don't go all the way back highlighting the highs, because really if you've got 2 highs here, unless these are contacted, these are literally irrelevant. Like, they're still there, we know they're there, but they don't serve any purpose for us if price is down here, and you know what I mean, you end up highlighting things that don't serve any context to you. And that's what I said before with most of the systems that a lot of other people use. Not all, and again, I'm not trying to tarnish everyone on the same brush here, but a lot of other systems, people highlight things that they are never actually going to use. It's sort of like, becomes a bit pointless, right? Now our bias here on, I need to do some refactoring here. Hold on a second. Right, let's just pull this out of the way, this out of the way, these out of the way, and then we can go wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, like so. Gosh, there we go. That's a quick way to do it. So daily time frame here. We have potential gap opening up here. All right, potential gap there. Now, currently the bias we have is based off of this previous area of money in, right? Now, because of this, the context we have is that we need to come down and take out these lows to ultimately close this gap. So it'd be a pretty big shift we'd expect. Now, that is if we want to maintain our bullish bias. Now, of course, we don't have to have an opinion on price and what we expect it to do. We don't have to have a bias that we formulate for our own opinions. We only have to have a bias formulated off of what price action is going to tell us. So unless we hit here, and we can set this as an alert, unless we hit here, our bias is going to shift to bearish, right? Simple as that. So we'll put an alert at that high, like so. Alert name, or we'll just change it here. Daily gap closed. Now, of course, when Orion is up and running, it will simply give you an alert whenever a bias is changed. It will alert you and say, bias change from bearish to bullish on X pair. But until that time, I'm going to show you how you can do it without having an indicator set up. So coming down to the 4 hour, you can see that we have 1 high, 2 high, 3 high situated below the daily high. They're a bit pissed because I put them on, didn't I, without actually adjusting them properly. I just threw them on there. They'll do. They don't need to be too perfect. Same thing with this low and this low. Now, if we shift bearish, these will become targets. Now, I believe if we're going to close this gap, so if we're going to actually run up, and we're going to close this gap, so we're going to come back up like this, right? And close that gap. We'll run these today, and then we'll push up to the higher. If we're going to do that. If not, we're going to linger around here. We're going to accumulate more liquid across the basis of this low. Then we may pull back up and then push down. But at that point, a gap will already be present. So, again, this is my opinion. But remember, we don't go off of opinion, because you having an opinion on price is like you thinking you're Mystic Meg. Like, you can't tell the future. You can have an opinion based off of what a systematic rule set tells you. That's the only logical way to go around it. So let's go to GU. I don't believe I've even marked up GU yet. Yes, I have. So we have a bias of bullish on GU. Again, let's do some refactoring here. We can go bump. And this is an easy way to clean up your charts. Visibility, daily, bosh. There you go. Grab this, daily high, look for the daily high, line it up, then you know that's on the low. Beautiful, right? Daily low. We don't know if it's perfect or not, but that'll do. Just ping and ping. Okay, cool. That's perfect. So we've taken the daily high, so we know that price action is running bullish. Come down to the 4 hour. You can see we have a lot going on. Don't be overwhelmed by it. Remember, all we're looking at is points where money has come in and points where money is going to come out. So we just need to be realistic with what we're looking at. I don't know why those are highlighted like that. Okay. So when we're bullish, our lows are the points we look to enter in at, and the highs are the points we look to target. Now, we don't really need to highlight anything that's too far away from current price, like these daily lows are pretty redundant at the moment. Unless we have a clear push down through existing lows, they're just lingering down there, right? So at the moment, for GU, we have a target of our 4-hour highs, and we have a point of reference as our 4-hour lows. Now, based off of the same principle, when we come down to the 15-minute, you can apply a very simple rule set, which is, unless you see the 15-minute chart take a major point of liquidity, like so, then it serves nothing more than an area to observe for potential liquidity creation. Now, again, you don't act on liquidity being created, but it gives you an idea. Okay, if we're sluggish here, we've only just created a gap here. Now we're pushing down quite aggressively. This could be the run down to the lows. So I'll just be aware of this. Instead of using it as something to look at and say, I need to trade, look at it and say, maybe I should set an alert. Set an alert for that low. Cool. Now, you know, unless these lows come down and are met, we aren't following the systematic understanding of institute in, institute out. Without that, we give ourselves a personal bias approach. And when you have a personal bias approach, often you are wrong. Systematic rule sets are used for a reason, because they are systematically proven to deliver X. Okay, whether that's a setup, whether that's a bias, whether that's a percentage over a certain amount of time, whatever it is kind of irrelevant as long as it shows consistency in the aspect you're looking to capitalize on. So straight away, look how quickly we've just defined a bias, area we want to enter, area we want to target. So we know we want to enter here or here, and we want to target here. Simple as that. Done. Till we get to here, we don't even care what price does. It will only create highs and accumulate between these for so long until it takes one or meets the other. So you should have the same attitude as that. Unless price is delivering to where you want it to go to, or unless it's meeting a point that you want to trade from, whatever. Just let it do its thing. Set your alerts and just stay sharp on what you're looking at rather than what you're trying to trade. Remember, what you're observing and realizing what you're observing is going to be more powerful than what you jump in on because you think price is going to do something. Again, GJ delivering down, really clear. Really, really clear. So we also have a bearish bias on gold here. And look at this, right? I'm not trying to rub like a position in people's faces or anything like that. But if you just look at the principle here, right? Where did we develop a bias to the downside? Now, again, I need to adjust this. We developed it here, right? So on the 26th, so anything that's 27th onwards, that's fine. So come back down to the 4-hour. So 27th onwards, so from here, we knew that we wanted highs to be taken. All right, for us to then sell into lows. So we took out high and high. We know that we've hit an area where money is potentially going to come in. So we then go down to the 15-minute and we apply the money in, money out concept. Where has the money come in? Well, it's clearly coming in here. Where's it picking the liquid up from? Here. Has that liquid showed itself? No, it hasn't. No, it hasn't. No, it hasn't. No, it hasn't. Yes, it has. Cool. So that puts our orders here. That puts the safe positions above this. And then you can target the 4-hour low. It's as simple as that. And again, I've had people over the last few weeks or so come into the Discord and go, oh, I don't get it. It doesn't make sense. Da, 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 da. That's fine. I'm not saying that everyone should understand it in a heartbeat. But all of the context around everything I show you on a daily basis is in the Keep It Simple series, or it's given and shown here in this live stream. What's going on, Andre? Hope you're well, brother. Hope you're well. That's 100. This is faulty. This is a faulty indicator, I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure. Oh, I know why it's doing it. Okay, no, it's not. It's not faulty, but it shouldn't actually be on. But that's fine. Right. Let's start fresh on that's 100, shall we? So remember, I encourage you all to follow along. So that's 100. All you're gonna do is generally go within like the last 10 days, or depict your last major high or major highs, and your last major lows. So for example, here and here. Okay, so we're going to establish what we're looking at, and based off of what I can see here already, I think we're going to be having a bearish bias for this. But even though my opinion is that it's going to go bullish, we know it's most likely going to go bullish. We don't actually have, like, there's very few people that can actually say, oh, my opinion on price is right over X amount of time with a probability of this, of X, Y, and Z, right? Most people can't do that because they don't consistently apply a bias based off of a given thing. And if they do, they're using a rule set. So it's the rule set that has probability, not their actual opinion. So with what we have right now, I think it's going to go up. I have an opinion of it traveling up. We actually had the same thing on GJ, I believe. But my opinion doesn't have data to back it being correct, right? So we go off of what our data is telling us. Whether we actually take a trade off of it or we get an opportunity given to us is a different story. So right now, if our bias is bullish, it means we're looking for price to coming to the lows and then to push up using the money in, money out concept. Now, of course, at the current time, so if we don't come any lower than this point today, that's not even correct. Apologies. If we come down to this point today, then we will only have a bearish bias again. But if we don't, and we stay above this level, we will have a gap formed at the end of today's session, meaning price action itself will have a bias of long. Yes, that will line up with our opinion and we can all go to sleep happy. But it is not about what you think, it's about what we know. And what we know is that this system gives us a consistent bias across X amount of time. So because of that, we're going to follow that rather than following what we think. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to put a daily gap. I'll just put gap close. I can't even spell. Cool. We know if that gets hit. Let's just put it as this and this. Brilliant. Now we can come down to the 4 hour time frame. So we've got our daily points and we've got our 4 hour points now. So we're just going to move this to here, and I'm going to also put text on this. Okay, just so we know when we see that, we go, what the fuck is this? Can I get, yeah, that's better. That makes me feel better. We've got the clock over here. So now we're on the 4 hour, we can begin to establish where our liquidity is placed. And then we can begin to actually understand what price is doing and look for a potential entry, if there's ever any to be taken. Then we can. If there isn't, then we don't. Okay, so we have, let me just turn the keypad off 1 second. There we go. Right, so a couple of seconds, and then we'll have this looking fine and dandy. These are all daily lows, sorry, 4 hour lows that are swept. So we're going to go swept, 4 hour low. Cool, right? We can see they've been swept. There's no lows in here. I don't need to measure those to know that there's not a low in there. We do have highs again. It doesn't really hold a huge amount of relevance highlighting these because they're redundant to us right now. We can highlight these, but purely for illustration purposes, we can have them. We'll confirm if that's been taken or not in a minute. And we have a low. Believe that's a low. Let's see. Remember, what's the way that we're checking our lows without having to zoom right in? These coordinates right here, they tell you your open, your high, your low, and your close. So if we're looking to define a low, just look at like the last 4 or 5 digits, depending on how many digits you have. When you hover over this, when I actually click on a mouse, when you hover over this, see the way it changes? So we can see that's technically higher than this. Okay, so there is no... wait, there is a low. Here, that's the low. So we have a low right there. Perfect. Okay, great. So we have a 4-hour low, 4-hour low, 4-hour highs. Now we can come down to the 15-minute. So because our bias is bearish, remember we were looking for a low or a high in this case to be swept out. Then we're looking for money in, money out. Now we have the money in principle. Then we look, and where does the money out come in? It doesn't. It doesn't come out at all until here. And what have I always said to you guys? If the area that you're going to be taking your trade from has a high area to stop, expect either one, it to not work and price go up to the high, or a new area be delivered within here. So you'd need a new 4-hour high, a new sweep, a new money in, new money out. It doesn't always happen. It's very rare that it happens. Normally it will form about here. But again, it's not every setup's the same. Each pair is unique, right? It's always the same thing. If the answer to the question is, this isn't very good, I don't like it. So it's kind of like looking at a menu in a restaurant going, I don't like this food, but ordering something anyway. Like, just don't do it. Don't do it. Don't place an order. Just leave it. There'll be another one. So we still have this high to be taken, which is also building up off of this. Is that a 4-hour high? Yes. We also took out this, so we've taken out previous, we've dropped down, we've built up more liquidity, we've then sat below it again. So expect this. I can even highlight the pen. There we go. Expect this, all right? Expect it. And then we might come down, take out this low, possibly. We'll see. I have an opinion of this going bullish, but I know that my data is telling me that it's most likely going to go bearish. What's going on, Jack? Hope you're good. Happy holidays to you as well, my friend. Blessings to you too, brother. It's the reason for the season. This is true. Are you on the gold analysis? I haven't done the gold analysis yet, but we will do. I think we did take a peek at it, but we'll go onto that very shortly. From the 4-hour, money in, money out, it's clearly bullish to take the highs. On the 4-hour, I believe so, yes. But we'll see. So for this, I'm just going to set an alert here. And then we'll go over to gold. So we have a daily bias of sell. 4 hour, we're not actually taking any we're not taking any money in, money out into account, because remember, it works on a basis of you use your biasing time frame. If your biasing time frame 4 hour, you would have 2 hours. 2 hours. I can't show you. It's literally right here. Actually, I can show you 1 second. Here, 2 hours and 18 minutes to confirm your money coming back in, which would be this gap completely forming. And the principle behind that is this gap within the space of 2 hours could come down and close. But you're correct in what you're saying. If you leave this gap open, bias long on the 4 hour. For me, on the 4 hour time frame, we had this high, then we came in on the 15. Entry was given. I'm looking for price action to come back down and take this out, but it might not do that. Again, in the markup I gave here, this is using more of like an institutional principle with a basic overview of what can happen. And again, these are not trend lines. They're institutional averages. So, for example, it's the average pricing trajectory that Institute is buying the market from. So if you cross over that line, it uses the same principle as trend lines, but it's not a trend line, because it doesn't matter if we have a low that deviates from it. Trend lines do. So if they start buying or selling below that average, it can lean into telling you what may happen. So for example, here they started buying away from the average, telling us that probability of it going up is higher, right? So from here, looking for price action to run these, to run us back down to that averaging so it can carry on buying, or pricing to be bought below the average, and then we start running lows, taking us into that bearish bias. So we'll play it, and at the moment, when it decides to load, we're running down below that low, right? Telling us that the average pricing may be coming down. And this is, again, a slightly different basis and a slightly different understanding to the money in, money out concept, but it's something that we keep our weekly outlooks confined to, because it gives a very simple and basic outlook. And what I think is important for most people that haven't spent the time to study the concepts is to have a basic understanding and principle what they're looking at. Similar to this, we haven't drawn the institutional movement here, but it's the same thing. Is it going to sell? Is it going to buy? Well, based off of what we have, we think it's going to sell. We can think it's going to come down the liquid lows like it has. We have an area of demand it could play off of. It might run down and take the liquid lows further. And again, this is the same thing. If we drew an averaging on here, it'd be like that. So they're now selling at a less than average price. Yes, concur, the daily clearly bearish. Hopefully, dude, hopefully you can get it in the right direction that you want it to go into. That's another thing as well, though. Always remember that whenever we have a desire to do something, so whether it's buy or sell, we can often overlook very clear indications at another aspect that's playing out. And again, I'm not saying this is what's happening with you now. I'm just using it as an example. I'm guilty of it. Everyone's done it. If you have it's kind of like crypto investment, for example. If you say you want to buy it, you really want to buy that crypto investment, and then you look and look and look for a good area to buy when there's super clear areas you could short it. Um, the thing with gold, like you said last week, it moves stairway up, elevator down. Yeah, yeah. My head is going higher, in my opinion. Yeah, yeah. And this is another thing that I've said. I said it in the actual markup here, I believe. Um, here, so short bias that we aim to follow. However, we are fully aware the chances of gold moving long are relatively high. So, we're giving a clear potential here. And again, the gold can be challenging asset due to the sensitivity for fundamentals and potential counter bias movement, which would be pricing running higher. So, yeah, I'm completely with you on that. As always, my opinion, unfortunately, isn't data proven, so I tend to ignore it. It's taken a long time to get to the point where I can just say that I ignore my own opinion, um, but it's kind of a blessing in itself. That's not a low. Why did I just click low? It's similar to this as well. U-Chef, it took out the high. Price action came down. It left a tiny little gap here at like 6 a.m. Didn't even react, just kept going higher. Then we can delete this. We can delete this. That was wrong. Okay, so let's go back to the 4 because sometimes it's easy to get lost on the 15-minute chart and forget that the 4 hours is the point you actually need to be tracking. So for anyone wondering, why is there a green zone here? Why is there a green zone here when our bias is bearish? Interesting one. Of course you guys know the answer already. You guys already know the answer. Seven likes already, guys. Appreciate it. Okay, thanks for that, Andre. I will look into that problem. We'll look into that problem. Looked at the chart already. Just woke up in the US. Right. Yeah. 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 It's what time is it now? So if you've just woke up, it's probably what 7:30 for you, maybe. It'll put you about 5 hours ahead of me. Right. Let me. Let's try this quick. It always hurts me when it does that to me. Oh, Chicago time. 6:51. Early. Yeah, the only reason I know that, yeah, because it's 12:51 here. The only reason I know that is because I have students in Colorado, and they're 7 hours ahead. I was just spitballing at the time frame. So what we'll do, Andre, if you're in the live still, which I imagine you probably are, what we'll do is we'll jump on a call this afternoon and we'll double check your version of that indicator. Okay, do we have news today? I believe we do. Let me double check and see. Okay, not yet. Been quite a lot of news this morning, actually. GJ? Oh, the dumps. Oh, if only that had tapped in. Look at that. Ush. Wowza. Wowza, wowza, wowza. What a shame on that one. That's fine. So let's go back to Euro A is running already. Let's do UJ. We haven't done UJ, have we? So let's start from the top. On the charts today, so hope to catch any yield to the daily bias. That should be daily high if we're going low based on daily. This is true. This is true. I'm a scalper, just won't leave my blood. Don't mind doing this a day if I'm allowed to. Yeah, of course. Of course, of course. Something that you can look to apply, which you probably already have, is the same concepts, but to a lower time frame. So again, you probably already have. You've probably already done this. So one that I liked personally was 1 hour, 15-minute, and then 5 or 1. So for example, like here, let's not, actually no, let's not go back that far. That's very far. Let's not go back that far. Just go to like here, right? And yeah, we know that price goes down. We know that, but I'm not going to be able to define a 1 minute entry, am I? So hourly, we say, what's our bias here on the hourly? Okay, the bias is money out. Cool. So we want price to run this low, possibly this low. There's no highs in here, and there's highs in here. Cool. Again, this is just an example of the same principle, money in, money out. What the fuck is going on here? AU, UJ, highs being swept. Highs being swept, lows being crossed. That makes no sense. That is the Jesus. Lots of money to be made, especially money in, money out. Of course, dude. So from here, this is the 1 hour. We're still bias bearish on this because of the gap. So remember, your bias will change. So we'll just leave them as they are. Then we'll go 15-minute. We'll say great. We want to look for this high, this high, this high, and I'm just going to put these as target highs just so they're slightly different. And there's a high here. So that's actually hit, so we can adjust that. Doesn't really make any difference. So then from here you go to like the 5 minute or the 1 minute. And you're looking for that sell bias to come in, aren't you? You're looking for that sell bias. So you're going to look for price to sweep. That's a beautiful bit of market close there for us. So we just hit our target straight away. Okay, so in that case, that didn't deliver, but that's fine. We'll go back again. Bias is still the same, 15-minute. We've got a ton of points now to look at. Again, in that case, we just hit all of our targets. So sometimes doesn't work out in terms of giving you an entry, but again, bias was correct, and that's using the hourly. So same principle can always be applied on lower time frames. Let's just do it from the top all the way down. So daily bias down. Back to the gold chart could be funky. Good evaluation on the site you gave me. Oh yeah, of course. No worries, daily highs. Okay. Daily low. Let's remember these points don't really serve a huge amount for us, but they're just there for illustration purposes so we can see the points that have been taken already. So daily low swept. Daily low swept. Daily low swept. Oh, I hate this measuring tool. Get away. There we go. Perfect. Bosh, bosh, bosh. No daily highs in here. No daily lows here. Cool. So we're looking for this daily low to be reached here. It's the same length. We also have that low underneath. No trade for you, can't reprice correctly. That's fair enough. Each day's different, isn't it? So some days you'll get it, some days you won't. Okay, so what I'm going to do actually, I'm going to call this one not daily low, 4-hour low, 4-hour high. We're just going to go wash. Okay, daily low, 4-hour low, sorry. That's it for now. Well, there was a low in there. I hate this measuring tool, dude. I wish there was a way to stop that hotkey. I mean, there might be actually. I'm not looking to it right now though. Okay, so this is what we have. Daily high, daily low. So there may have been a money in, money out off of this high being ran. That is potential. Same as GJ. Gave it. So notice how there is no gaps. There's no gaps anywhere in here. First gap is there and price immediately moves down. What am I doing? I'm thinking I'm drawing lines when I'm not. Okay, so that would be the trade point off of this. So something to reference is if you're using the money in, money out concept correctly, there should only ever be one money in or one money out to each high or low that is being swept for that money to come in and money to come out. Now, there are other scenarios that will be against what I just said, which is a principle where let's say you're trying to go long here, right? Based off of a smaller time frame movement. So your bias on let's say your bias on this is bullish. I know it's clearly not, but let's say we're bullish, right? And we were looking at these 15-minute lows. The only time it's not going to be one money in, money out area to a low or a high is if you sweep more than one at a time. So when you sweep two, you can have 1 point that will come in, but it'd be relevant of representing 2 points are taken. But it doesn't mean that we'll highlight 2 points. It just means that it will give you one area that you then look to long from, based off of the principle that these two were both taken at the same time. Now, because we're using if you're using hourly 15-minute, you'd be better off going down to the 1 minute for it. But sometimes you can get, more entries, but less winning trades. This one taken out, here's your gap. So you'd enter there, stop would go here, and you get a nice move out of it. So again, you scalpers know the fact that you're going to have more trades, which means you're going to encounter more winning, more losing across a short period of time. You guys know that. That's the nature of the way that you trade. Obviously not always, but you're going to have more trades presented to you than somebody that's trading off for 15-minute. Okay, so right now we have nothing to do except for either run this or run this. So we've just done a full top down on that in like seconds. Now again, look at how you have these liquid lows just building up down here. So a run through those lows is going to be more lucrative than price pushing back up through 2 4-hour highs over the space of X amount of pips. Again, it's not always about what's more efficient, it's about what the bigger asset holders are doing. So remember, I'm still expecting this to run down and take out these lows here. GJ hitting the target low. That's definitely not going to be a 4-hour low now. You know what I mean? Unless you confirm, don't mark. So super simple there. So GU pushing down through the lows here. Now remember what we said about this. Our bias is to go long. I believe this is probably going to be a 4-hour high now. Okay, well, at the moment it isn't. That's not a 4-hour low either. Why we have that highlighted, I do not know. Okay, money in, money out is what we're looking for. What we're looking for, remember? This area, you can learn why this area is highlighted in green when we have a bearish bias by watching the latest video, which is counter trend. Understanding why you would highlight a counter trend or why a point of counter trend movement may occur. Okay, so that's 100 around the high, like we said. So let's see. Remember, guys, if you haven't already, hit that like button. So if you guys celebrate Christmas, because I know some people don't, have you got your Christmas decorations up already? That's the question. Absolutely pumping. No, I used to absolutely love the German 30. Absolutely used to love it. German 30, German 40, you name it, I loved it. Yeah, I did think that some of you guys might not celebrate it. The thing is, I'm not even like Christian. I don't necessarily believe in all of the traditional things that, like going to church and things like that. I still celebrate Christmas, but it's more about a joyful time with family. You know, making that deeper connection with family. It's not about gifts. It's not about eating loads of food. You know, it's about spending quality time with the ones you love. Daily those. Cool. Why are they marked like that? There we go. What was that actually that came up then? Yo, NZD. That's going off why? Okay, I think we need to clear up some of these, don't we? Because they're going off, and I don't have a freaking clue why they're going off. Your girlfriend's Christian? Yeah, nice. That's great that you guys. That's what I've always said. People that are truly religious, whether you're Christian, Muslim, um, I can't even think of any other religions, Jewish, any kind of religion. If you're true to the religion, most religions have love to all other religions, and there's never a conflict. It's only the very few that take offense and they can't help but feel a certain way when people say they're not religious or they're a different religion. That's one thing I would love to be able to emphasize to everybody within the YouTube Live, the Discord, whether you're from the middle of the desert or you live in the middle of the sea, we're all equal in the Discord community. We're all equal in the YouTube community, and we're all part of the same thing. That's why it's so powerful. There we go. I've deleted all those points now. And regardless of beliefs, we're all one big family. Okay. Let's have a look. So remember this high here? Same evil is poverty, right? Yeah, exactly. And the thing with it as well is poverty is a byproduct of the society that is created by the people that we choose to be in power. Because at some point in history, there's been a power shift, and the shift has gone from the people, who the power should really be in the hands of the people, the ones it affects, and the power has shifted across to the few, which then is a completely contradicting process, because you can't have the decision of the few deciding things that affect the many. It should always be the people it affects most are the ones that have the say in it. Like war, for example. It's decided that nations go to war by people that will never fight. That in itself shows you how the power construct of the societies we live in is not right. It hasn't been for a long time. Beautiful push to the upside here. It's rigged. Of course. Of course. This is something that I realised very early on, which is there is no rich without poor, and there is no winners without losers. So unfortunately, it will always be the same. Okay, here we go. Right, I'm just gonna quickly scooch over to the XRP chart. That's looking spicy for 2 right there. Change the coordinates on this. My co-owner is a heavy holder of XRP. Okay. GU, we're still looking for that money in, money out. Back to the 4-hour time frame. Okay, we've got a new confirmed 4-hour low here. Okay, I just need to quickly 2 seconds, guys. I'll be right back with you. Just need to quickly yonk this. Yonk. Yonk. There we go. We're back. Okay, I think, guys, we are going to go to the Discord in around 10 minutes time. We're going to head over to the Discord and we're going to do some video making, or I say video making, we're going to do some recording. Gonna get an alert on this as well. Oof, look at Euro A. Oh my lordy. Euro N pushing up super aggressively. We're still looking for this to sell down into the lows though. Our bias is to go short off of this. And the short bias was given by this gap here, I believe. Yeah. Don't know why I have lots of drawings here, but I do. So we'll know when this first high gets hit. Excuse me. We're still looking for this to sell off. So I'm just going to change the colorations on this. Let's do 80. Ooh, look at that. Crispy. Crispy. Giving the daily time frame some real nice context if you apply that into your principle of trading. I mean, even on like the 5 minute, I've said this before, even on the 5 minute, if you wait for a clear point to follow pricing, tap into their beautiful run, tap into here a short-term run, no tap into here, price skims that, no tap into here, that gets swept out completely, that gets tapped back in right there, that again doesn't work, that doesn't work, that doesn't tap in, I would say that doesn't tap in, there, beautiful sell, this is tapping in, that taps into here. There's so many ways you can apply it in terms of using the context of what is like what price is showing you. Again, my favorite way of using it is applying it on a higher time frame. Applying it on an intermediate time frame, but having the higher time frame bias given so we can then use it in context. Look at the chop of that. So choppy. So again, another way, if you want to use it in a slightly different way, in a principle when it doesn't really show very much, but at each point it is shown, you see a long period of price action traveling in the direction it's telling you. You can use it on your weekly, your monthly. Look at some of these monthlies. Like that literally triggers in like a monthly would. So really, really clean. Really, really clean. So this indicator is going to be available this week. Now, of course, you don't need an indicator to look and see what this is showing you. So, guys, have you watched the Keep It Simple series already? That is the question. If the answer to that question is no, then you need to head over there and watch it. It's a very simple system to watch and learn. It's a very easy concept to pick up, but it needs to be applied in the correct manner, which is what we teach you to do in that series. Now, of course, if you want to trade alongside like-minded traders, have an area that you can converse with them and share ideas 24/7, and the Discord is the place for that. Making it automated and more practical? Yeah, of course. 100% it's more practical. Really is. Because it gives you the ability as well to have an alert. So, for example, a system that you spent time learning becomes relatively automatic. So we've got an alert set up here because you know what we're looking for. You already know what we're looking for. Gold pushing up aggressively, so there could be a change in bias there for gold. Let's go back to the 4 hour here and double check that we haven't missed any highs in this little clustered area, because I believe that is a high, right? Yes, it is. So we may have missed that if it tapped into here and goes short. We're not actually looking to short this, but the context is if we were looking to short it, we still would have missed it. So we need to have that highlighted, ready in case we run up, because that would be a short-term target high. So just recording a quick short there, guys. So don't mind me. I'll have a bit of that. We'll have a bit of that. And we're going to do a little voiceover. Brilliant. Brilliant. Had another one here, which was from that. I need to copy these. Just got some duck dumplings. I've never had duck dumplings before. Oh, this was the previous markup, by the way. Okay. It doesn't want to load for some reason. Cool. Right, we're going to go to the Discord. Remember, guys, if you want to join, you can. The link is down below. Just exactly the same as the link for all the other good things. If you're making your own private account with your own funds, you can use our partnered broker, who I have used for many years, and I can say with confidence that they are good and trusted. That is Vantage FX. You can find the link for those down below. Of course, if you're looking to get funded, you can find a link for that in our Discord, and all the good stuff down below. It's all there if you want to use it. So I will see everybody in the Discord if you're going to join. If not, then I'll see you tomorrow in the live stream. Have an amazing rest of your day. I hope you've all found this live stream useful in some way or another. And of course, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and leave us a comment down below. Have a good one, guys, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Peace and love.